A nomad is a person having no permanent abode and who travels from place to place to find fresh pastures. That's me. That's my story. That's my nomadic way. Hi, good morning everyone. Oops. Hi, my tripod. I got that one leg on my tripod that keeps slipping out, so I got to be so careful because I don't want my phone to be messed up. I need it for more reasons than one. But anyway, I was listening to Rob on Little House on the Road yesterday, and he was talking about the 3 stages of this lifestyle. Stage 1, I was not excited about this lifestyle, all right? This lifestyle started because of necessity. That was like 33, 34 years ago, something like that, give or take. But it was, I was with my youngest son's father at the time. My youngest son wasn't even thought of, more or less born. And he had no job. He had lost his job. He had no job. I had 2 children with me at the time from a previous marriage. And we had no place to go. We did have tents and all, so that's what we did. Now, he was used to this lifestyle. I was not. So it was not a happy time for me. I did not like having to live the way I lived. I learned what dumpster diving was like. Believe me, we had it rough. It was not a pleasant lifestyle. Not at all. So I had it one day and I said, this is it. I'm leaving. That's it. You could stay where you're at. Me and the kids are going. I got in the van and I took off. Well, I felt bad leaving him behind like that. You know, I mean, really felt bad because everything was in the van. So I went back and he says, okay, I'm going to go out. Let's go to Odessa. I'm going to go out. I'm going to find me a job in the oil field. So he did, and we did. But we were out there for about 3 months. And at the time, I also did not have the things I've got now, like my stove and stuff like that. I didn't have any of that. I mean, we really roughed it. We really did. It was a couple of years. It was after my son was born. And then we started camping out. And I kind of liked it. But then, at that time, I was prepared. That's why I liked it. I was prepared. I had food, and there was money. And I did that for several years. We would go and camp out for several months, and then he'd get another job, make some more money, would do it again. So my beginnings in this lifestyle was not excitement. It was far from excitement. It was fear. It was just all the worst things you can feel is what I was feeling. But I never told the kids that we were homeless. I told the kids we're camping out and we're going to have a great time and oh, we're going to do this and that. I never would tell them what was going on. Dumpster diving, it was, let's have fun. Let's have an adventure, you know. But I fed them. Fed them. I know a lot of people are going, oh my God, from the dumpster, you'd be amazed what's in those dumpsters. You'd be amazed what these stores throw away. But anyway, on and off the rest of my life, I started doing this. Sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes a year. In between, I worked for several years. I was at Texas A&M. I worked there as a chemist assistant. And I worked as waitress. I owned my own business for a while. I think that was before I met my son's father. But, you know, I always craved to go back to the nature. I always craved nature. So, in a sense, my son's father spoiled me in that aspect as far as loving nature. Because the only good thing that happened when we had to live out there was we lived in nature. And I always felt such peace when I was out there. Even though I was upset and all, there was something about being in nature that made all the difference to me. It made the bad things, not that it felt any better I was in that situation, but it kind of like soothed me. You know, it kind of, I looked around and I thought, you know, this isn't that bad. This is really beautiful. But I know I've got to do what I got to do. I had 2 kids already. You know, at the beginning I had 2 kids, and I did not want, I mean, my other kids were around, but they were grown. But they weren't with me. They were on their own by that time. Actually, my oldest son was 24 years old. My youngest son was born. So, yeah, I was 42 when I had my youngest. And he is 32 now. He'll be 33 next month. But it wasn't an excitement. The second stage was, should I be doing this or not? I think that was the second stage you said. And I don't think I've ever said that. I don't think I ever felt that as far as the second stage is concerned. I don't think I ever felt that. I always knew that when I came out to nature that was right and that I wanted to be there. And to this day, I love doing this lifestyle. To this day. That's a long time ago that I started it. But today, I love it even more than I ever did. I'm looking right now at the sun peeking through the trees over there, through those pines. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can cope with weather. Of course, you know, there's degrees and everything. I don't want to be around 110. And I don't want to be below freezing, but I have been, and I've lived in my van below freezing. I did that in Ehrenberg. Yeah, 26 degrees one morning. Of course, I think by afternoon it was 80. But I don't know. I'm happy. And I wouldn't change it. I would not change it. I'm not saying that there's not going to be a time when I'll end up going back to a stick and brick, but it won't be by choice. It will be because it will make sense at that time, at that period of time. And, you know, we all have that period of time, unless we want to die in our van and die out here, which wouldn't really be that bad. But for me, it isn't my dying out here. It's my leaving my animals. And that's my biggest fear that I have. My biggest fear that I have is having to pass on and leave my poor animals alone. It wouldn't be no different than if I had a baby and that happened and I'd leave my baby alone out here in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, he was talking about those stages, and I had to think back of my own life and how I started this journey, and how I am continuing this journey. My husband that passed away 2.5 years ago, he knew this, that I'm part native, and he knew that I had that nomadic spirit in me, that free spirit. And that's one of the biggest things that he told me. Continue your journey. Because I stopped my journey when we got married. I was doing it. I was in Oregon. I came back to Phoenix because I did have a lot of knee problems and I had to have that taken care of. No, I wasn't operated on. But he knew me, and he loved me for who I was. And he wanted me to continue doing the things I wanted to do, the things I love doing. So, Wes, I'm out here, and I'm doing it. All right, guys, that's enough for the day. Well, this time anyway. Don't forget, love one another, love thyself. Much hugs to all of you. Peace.